Hi Yins, how are you doing today? It's Thursday, May 2nd. Hope you're all doing well. Yes, it's Thursday. Yesterday I was just exhausted. It has been a crazy busy but good week at work, and not just work but just life in general. And so I have been just really busy and super tired. Last night I came home from work. Well, yesterday we had our senior grad trip for school, and we took them to a minor league baseball game. So we were out in the elements. It was kind of chilly, and until I got home, I took a nap and I didn't wake back up. So no filming was happening yesterday. So I am here on Thursday, and we're just gonna roll with it. So today, again, I was on the road again today, up into North Jersey for a trip to another school. So I was driving another 2 hours one way. Fun, enlightening, and enjoyable, but again, tiring. So I don't know how long this video is gonna be. Obviously, you already know, but that is all right. So it is Thursday. I have some progress to show you I'm very pleased with, and I hope you are all having a great week. It is also my last week of classes for these first two classes that I'm taking, so I'm super excited about that. After Sunday, I will be all done with these classes, and then I will be able to relax for a few months. And then I start up again in June for the last two classes that I have. So I have 2 classes now, and then in June I start up another 2 classes, and then I'm all done with this set of coursework that I'm taking. But it's worth it, and I'm very pleased and happy that I'm getting it done. Okay. Other than that, not a whole lot has been happening since I talked to you last week. So I finished out spring break last week. It was really nice and enjoyable, relaxing. The weather was beautiful. Again, today the weather is absolutely beautiful. It's like 80 degrees here, plus maybe. I think it's close to 80, if not hotter than that. And really enjoyable today. I'm going to get out and enjoy the weather once I'm done filming here and getting this uploaded. And then I'm going to sit down and stitch the evening away. So, but yeah, spring break was successful and relaxing. And then we got back into the routine of work. Of course, going back to work, it's always super busy just to get back into the routine. So now let's get into what you're here for. First off, I wanted to talk about a new app that I found on my phone for when I'm knitting. So we all know I have a knitting counter that I use for when I'm counting rows. But I've also, last week, I took my stitching somewhere with me. I forget where I took it. Maybe it was a couple weeks ago. And I forgot to take my counter with me. And so I did a real quick search on my phone for a counting app, because you would think there would be one. And I found one I really like. And it is called Counter Plus. So COUNTER with the plus sign. Counter Plus. And so it looks like, let's see if we can get this to work. There. Let's see. Let's see if we can get this to work. There we go. So that's one of the things I was counting. You can have up to, I believe, 10 different counters for the free version. I'm not going to pay for a counter for an application like this. And so it has a place for you. Obviously, you can name your counting, what you're counting, and then it can count the rows because you have your plus sign, your minus sign. So if I hit the minus sign, it will decrease a row, and then of course adding a row will add a row. You can also start over again. So if you're doing a set of rows that repeats itself, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4 and then hit repeat or restart, and it will restart. I really like it because then you can also customize the background. So I did this one in yellow, of course. I did the second one I did in green or greenish blue, and so it's nice and easy to count along. Use it if you're traveling or whatnot and you don't have your counter with you. So I do use that occasionally, depending upon what I do, because, well, I've been using that for my sweater, because my other counter I've been using for my sock. And so the only thing I've worked on, actually no, I lied. Let me get that real quick. Okay, so last week I had said I finished the back on my sweater, and this week I went ahead and started, got a little bit dark. I have to do, no, it's not going to be light enough. Uno momento. Let's see if that helps. Yeah, there we go. So there's my sweater. I have to do 4 of these shoulder patches, and so I went ahead and started one of them just to work on. So I have 1 shoulder patch done. That took maybe an hour. Very simple seed stitch, and so they just go like right here. Of course, you're not going to see it against my, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So there we go. Shoulder patch done. So that, just progressing slowly on my sweater, but that has not been my main focus this week. Then the only knitting I've really done is on my sock, and I'm just continuing on with the leg of, or the foot of the sock. So I have a few more rows to go, and then I'll be ready to put in the other section of color work. So not anything overly exciting, just rows of round and round and round with the ribbing and the straight stitch. So nothing super exciting. But I'm just picking that up every once in a while when I have a few minutes, and I haven't really been in the mood this week to do much stitching because I've been super focused on my cross stitch. So, what have I gotten done since I talked to you last? Since I talked to you last week, I was working on, last time I talked to you, I was trying to get back into the routine of stitching. And so I picked, before, I just really wasn't in the mood to work on Henry at that time. So I went ahead and pulled out my By the Bay, and that's what it is looking like. This is part 2, and I worked and worked and worked on this until I had a finish. So part 2 is completely finished. And if you follow me on Instagram, you've obviously already seen this because I posted this on Instagram. But here is part 2. There we go. And I went ahead and pulled it out of the Q-snap so we could see the entire piece so far. So there's part 1 and part 2. So we have part 2, part 1, and then part 3 will go over here. So, and I've been actually itching to get back to this. So I'm thinking today, after I'm done talking to you, I'm going to go ahead, there we go, go ahead and pull out part 3. So I'm going to start part 3 when I get done talking to you tonight. But I wanted to show you this out of the Q-snap so you could see both parts. So just to remind you of what part 3 looks like, there is part 3. Part 3 has the weeping willow. So that will be next on the docket, because after I worked on By the Bay, I pulled Henry back out, and I have a page finish. And we're not getting very good light now. There we go. So Henry, that page is finished, and as soon as I finished that page, I went ahead and moved. Excuse me, I'm going to see. Excuse me. I went ahead and moved the large frame adapter over so I can get to the next 2 pages here, and I will be ready to stitch on the next page of Henry whenever I'm ready to start on it. So I have 3 pages left on Henry and one part left on By the Bay, and those are my 2 projects that are going to be my focuses to get done in the next 2 months. So again, if you're still interested in joining the large project finish competition, you have plenty of time. I still have 3 pages left on Henry. I'm going to be working on that. I'm hoping to have a finish on Henry by the end of June. So for my birthday, the end of June. I'm also hoping to have By the Bay done by the end of June. So those are the 2 things I would really like to get done by the end of the half-year mark of 2019. And then I can start focusing on some other pieces that I would also like to get done that I think I mentioned in the last video. That is all I have for you today. It's been kind of a busy week life-wise, and so not a whole lot has been going on stitching and crafting wise, and so I'm gonna let you go there. I have not purchased anything, and so not anything there to talk about. Again, my plans are going to be to focus on By the Bay and Henry and get those 2 done. With that, I hope you all have a wonderful week. And don't forget to always be creative. I'll see you.